Space, the final frontier. My name is Captain Foley, and these are my adventures. Captain's log, Stardate, today. Now even. What is it? 2016-08.26. Yes. Welcome back, everybody. I am Captain Foley. Just got a freshly done haircut. Yeah, baby. I'm telling you, it's getting a little long. A few things I want to point out. So, as we all know, or you might not know, or if you do know, awesome. If you don't know, you're going to find out. There is 50th anniversary Star Trek Golden Ale beer. Golden Anniversary Ale from Garrison Brewing, which is Halifax, Nova Scotia, made in Canada. Check that out. Got a beautiful shot of the Enterprise on there. 50th anniversary says on top. These are very hard to find. My wife found this one for me in London. This was like the only case left in London. I have since gone to Strathroy, which is like half-hour drive from here, and picked up 4 additional cases. I'm going to give one to each of my brothers when I see them on the weekend, and have some for me to drink. But just pop this puppy open and see what we got going on in here. So the bottles all have pictures from Ships of the Line calendar on them, and they're all different, every one of them. I've seen a few of them already. So this one, these are pictures you can all find in the Ships of the Line calendars, which I think is fantastic that they did this. So these are very limited in number, and they're very hard to find here. So if you find some, snag them up when you can. These 6-packs is $15 for the 6-pack, so not too bad, not too shabby-dabby. I'll show you all 6 of the bottles that are in this one. And there's more than what's in here. There's more than 6 labels, I know that for sure. So here's the giant Apollo hand. So anyway, I have not tried this beer yet. I was going to wait until I talk to you fine people. So here's the first one I'm going to try. This is from Innermere Darkly, I believe. I think so, yes. I think it's in the asteroid there. Can't see the registry number. Oh, it says 1701, so it is the Enterprise. No bloody A, B, C, or D. That's the name of the picture. No bloody A, B, C, or D. And it's done by Doug Drexler. So it tells you the name of the artist and the title of the picture on all of them. Here's Assignment Earth, and this is by our good friend from Trekyards. Well, Doug Drexler is too, but a guy we stayed with in Montreal, Rob Bonchoon. So thank you to all the artists that artwork graces this. That's the first thing. So let's do the first taste test here. Oh, they are twist off. Good. So, cheers, everyone. It's good. Since it's Canadian beer, it's very good. Made in Nova Scotia, guys. So there you go. Cheers for that. Another thing I wanted to point out to you guys, I also got this in the mail today, which I'd ordered, and that's the $20 50th anniversary Starship Enterprise silver coin from the Canadian Mint. If you're interested in ordering some of these, if you're interested in ordering some of these, you can do so by going to the mint, or mint.ca, mint.ca. So here's the coin itself. Got the little Enterprise there. 50th anniversary logo. It says 2016. And on the back, we have the Queen. Well, there's Queen Elizabeth right there. So there you have it, guys. The 20 $10 coin from the Canadian Mint. Now there are other things that they have available. Got the little catalog here. A phaser blast from the past. So you open it up, you got each of these coins. These coins are $54.95 Canadian each. You got Kirk with the Enterprise, Scotty with the communicator, Uhura with the tricorder, and Mr. Spock with the phaser. I think Spock really should have had the tricorder. But anyway, so there they are. That's how they're shipped and the presentation things. $54.95 per coin, and these are $10 coins. So that's a little much. I was going to order them. I thought they were $54.95 for the set of 4. That's not the case. And there's this, which I have also ordered. It's a 25-cent piece, 25 cent, like a quarter, but it's got the Enterprise around the edge of it. And this set also comes with 3 stamps. It's a fold-out booklet. You got the 3 stamps and the 25-cent coin there, and that's for $35.95. So this one here is $109.95. This is a $20 fine sterling coin with the USS Enterprise, all colorful and beautiful, but it's $109 for that one. All Canadian prices. Star Trek classic scenes commemorated in fine silver. So we've got Guardian of Forever, Mirror Mirror, and Trouble with Tribbles. And these are $109.95 for each coin. So each time one of the coins ships, your credit card gets billed that. Seems a bit pricey for me. Those ones I probably won't be getting either. And lastly, the Delta Shield insignia coin. This is worth $200 of pure gold coin, but it costs, well, $1,299. But it's a Delta shaped coin. Market value is $200. So I can't justify spending $1,300 for a $200 thing. But anyway, that's the catalog from the mint.ca. If you guys are interested, go to it, check it out. Also, CanadaPost.ca has a bunch of really cool Star Trek stamps for the 50th. They've got some lenticular ones. I've showed some of them off already. So there's that. So check those out, guys, and get some Star Trek beer, because it's pretty good. It's been an interesting captain's log, considering that I'm drinking. So a few more things I just want to talk on real quick. My youngest daughter, Cassie, she has a friend who lives down the street named Jessie. And one day Cassie's like, Jessie wants to come and see you. She has something to give you. And I'm like, sounds kind of odd. Sure, have her come over. Comes over and she brings this, the Star Trek Action Pack, which has Star Trek Armada, Star Trek Armada 2, Elite Force, and the Elite Force, where is it here? The Elite Force expansion pack. So I got all the discs. I already have Armada and Armada 2 and Elite Force, but I didn't have the expansion pack. So I got this extra one, which is great. I thought it was fantastic that she thought of me. She cleaned out her basement and found a bunch of old computer games and stuff from her dad and her brothers, and so she brought that. So just something I wanted to point out to you guys. Wondered how many of you might have it. Also from Trekconderoga, got a few photos for you to see. I met a really great guy named Dan Hall down there. We've become fast friends. I spent a lot of my time down there with him, me and Sylvia, or Sylvia and I. And he actually paid to get some shots done of us on the bridge. Here's the first one, which is just me in the captain's chair, looking all captainy. So there's that. Here's a picture of myself and Mr. Dan Hall over here in Scotty's chair on the bridge. He's even turned the same way as Scotty always did. He was a big fan of James Doohan and actually got a chance to meet him and become friends with James. And they had some meals together and whatnot and became friends. They got to know each other quite well. And of course, Scotty has passed away now, James Doohan. But Dan wanted to show his appreciation and wanted to sit at the engineering station, which they'd never had a request for anybody doing, which I find that hard to believe. But there's someone else in this picture which they've kind of cut off because they had to do it for the 8.5 by 11. And that is my brother Steve, and he is of course at his favorite station, the science station. Spock is one of his favorite characters. So there's the brothers Foley on the bridge, Captain Foley in command, and Science Officer Foley at his station. Now he is, ultimately I gotta say, my brother Steve is the original Captain Foley. He's the reason that I like Star Trek as much as I do. I just wanted to be like my oldest brother, learned all about it. Became a big fan because he was very much into Star Trek. So thank you very much, Steve and Dan, for this. And of course they kind of cropped it so that we were all in there, all on the bridge. So the only crew members I'm missing are my helm and navigation officers. So Trekconderoga sets are amazing, guys. To see the bridge done up, it's not 360 right now, there's two consoles missing, but that's fine. To see it all done up with the beautiful Alcars, I'll actually post some Alcars videos in this captain's log. I don't know, yeah, I think I will. I'll do a welcome to the bridge and then do a, have all the Alcars for you guys to see. I love Alcars. I'm an Alcars junkie, as you guys know. They're everywhere around me, and to see the TOS ones, the big ones on the main viewers doing their thing, is incredibly awesome. So yes, just Alcars, Alcars, Alcars. Drink. All right, guys, time to get into your comments and questions from the last captain's log. There is another person I want to give a quick shout out to. Let's grab my list so I don't forget anything. That's Corey Wallace, one of our biggest Trekyards supporters. He was at Trekconderoga, and I bumped into him a few times. We never had a lot of time to actually sit down and chat, unfortunately. We were going to go for lunch on the last day, but James Colley's little talk went a little half hour, 45 minutes longer than it was supposed to, so that really pushed back my departure time, so I had to get out of there. But Corey, if you're watching, I apologize. We'll get together soon. I got a few pictures with you and got to say hi and kind of chat a little bit, and that was great, and I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I'm just sorry I didn't have the time to, kind of hang out with you a little bit more. So I think that's it. Shout out wise, I wanted to say thank you to my brother Steve also for attending. A bunch of you guys got to meet my brother Steve while he was down there, and he was actually at the Trekyards panel that we did on Saturday, which Samuel has now edited into a video that you guys can watch, and you get to kind of experience. There were some technical difficulties, the internet went out, but we kept the audio going, so you guys, anyway, you can watch it, you'll see. My brother asked a question at the end. It's kind of funny. We're just funny guys that way. So hope you guys enjoy it, and please check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it, because a lot of people apologize for missing it, but at the exact same time there was a panel with the guys from 2001 A Space Odyssey, Gary Hutzel, and I forget the other gentleman's name offhand. But so the fact that the Trekyards panel was full, was actually packed, was amazing. That people would rather see us maybe than an actor, which is great. But if you did miss the panel because you weren't at Trekconderoga, or if you had to attend another panel while you were there, you can watch it now. It's on 50 years of a ship called Enterprise. So it's like a live Trekyards episode. Corey Wallace actually said when we were there, he said it was kind of surreal because everything was so familiar. Samuel was on the Skype window, only it's kind of 3D now and interactive, because I was in the room and you could ask questions, and he said it was very surreal to be living a live Trekyards episode. So I thought that was a great compliment, and I hope you guys enjoy what we've thrown together for you guys to watch it. So that is that, as they say. I don't know if I have anything else to say really about Trekyards, or Trekconderoga, sorry. Just I'd like to thank my brother Steve for going. It was great hanging out with you. Like I said, he's been a huge Star Trek fan his whole life, so for him to get on the sets and meet James Colley and get to walk around the bridge and whatnot and just hang out, I think has been incredibly great for him and fun. So anyway, guys, I'm going to do this quick welcome to the Bridge of the Enterprise right now video for you guys. We'll put it in here, see some Alcars and whatever, and then I'll get right to the questions. See you in a second. Welcome to the bridge, guys. It's awesome. Hey guys, Captain Foley here. on the bridge of 1701. And it's looking fabulous, as you can see. Lots of great displays, lots of cool L cars, which we know that I love. Check this out. Awesome stuff. There's some cool stuff over here too, at the science station. Really cool animations there. So I am here at Trekconderoga, going to be doing some videos and stuff from the set here. There's the captain's chair down there. Camera set up right now. But yeah, guys. So stay tuned. There's lots coming. Captain Foley signing off for now. I'll see you actually probably in just a second.
Why don't we have you come down? Do you want to sit in the chair? Do you want to?
Nobody else in the light.
And you can go right in front to take the picture right straight across.
What I'm doing here is taking the movie.
Yep. Just pretend you're Captain Kirk. Or Lieutenant Uhura, or Yeoman Rand, whoever you think.
That she does know it. Yeah. She's the captain.
She's the captain.
Drill sergeant.
There you go.
Dennis can help you, Jen. So Rachel, this is James Colley. This is Rachel from Channel 5 Classic.
I watch MeTV. She was asking me. Tomorrow. Yes. I want to cross the street. Come on. I'll be right behind you. Hold on.
There we go. And happy birthday.
Thinking about you today, baby. Love you. Kyle. Buy my daughter something.
No bloody A, B, C, or D. That's funny. It's green. Well, it's not green. It's more of a golden color. And hi, welcome back. Sorry, forgot you were there. So I take it you've seen the L cars on the TOS bridge. Great little tour of the L cars displays. I think they're fantastic. I wish I could have got a little more detailed, but it was busy. There were people all around, and maybe next time we go, I'll be able to actually do a segment on the bridge and actually talk to you about the bridge a little bit in detail. Maybe we'll film some of our Connie special there. Who knows? More on that to come. Anyway, it's time for your comments and questions after I take a swig. It's good stuff. All right, so the first one is from Mark Lawrence. Thanks for the shout out, but there's no way I'd be able to send you a 5 terabyte solid state drive. It'd be way too expensive, like on the order of about $2,000. It's just a standard 5 terabyte external hard drive. How full did you get it once you transferred all the Trekyards stuff to it? Well, Mark, I apologize to you in the message. I thought it was a solid state drive. It's a Seagate, and on the box it says SS. On the instructions it said SS. I didn't really read into it too much. I just thought SS solid state. But okay, it's a 5 terabyte standard drive. Once I transferred all the Trekyards scripts, research, and photos, which are just collected photos of different ships, all in their own folders and stuff, that was at 30 gigabytes on its own. Then I transferred a bunch of my other stuff, pictures and other assorted stuff over, and I think it's at 165 gigabytes full right now. It's not anywhere close to being full, but it really cleared off a lot of stuff on my computer. I still got more to do. I just haven't had the time to do it, but thank you very much, Mark, for that. He goes on to say, looking forward to your next mission America. Maybe this time I won't be out of the country when you get here. I'm glad I rushed back to meet you guys on that last day. And it was great to meet you, Mark. He met us on our last day, like he said, in the morning. We went for breakfast, went to the Japanese Botanical Gardens, which, as you all know, is Starfleet Command. And then he followed us to the car rental place and drove us from the car rental place to the airport. And he was a great guy. Really loved hanging out with him, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with him again in the future. Mark is an awesome guy. So thank you very much, Mark. So it goes on to say a few other things here. And finally, with the new show, I can honestly say this is the first time that I've looked forward to an STD. Had to say it. It's right there. Star Trek Discovery. I think they're going to go with just Discovery, though, so DISC. as the abbreviation. But yes, that's funny. I too am looking forward to having an STD on my TV screen. Enterprise H says, you didn't answer who would win between the Kelvin Empire and the United Federation of Planets, and when the tipping point would be. Well, I'd say the United Federation of Planets would win, just because, and the tipping point would be halfway through. There you go. That's my answer. Hopefully that's satisfactory. I don't want to get too much into it. So, since Sisko was created by the Prophets, which I really dislike about the character, does that mean that him arriving on Bajor was a fixed point in time which had to happen throughout the Star Trek multiverse? I would assume yes. So I think Sisko will be in the JJ verse at some point. I think that's probably a fairly safe bet. Also, why did you skip your top 10 list on the classic Klingon FASA ship designs after doing your Federation and Romulan FASA design lists? We didn't. I'm pretty sure it's out there. I'm pretty sure it's been released. Just type in Trekyards top 10 Klingon. You should find it. If not, it's filmed at least. At the very least, it's filmed and just maybe not edited. Because there are a few top 10s that we had filmed but not edited before we went away on our Mission America trip. And we haven't been releasing top 10s because we're releasing all the other content from that trip. So there are top 10s in the bank. It might be one of them, but I think we released it. I'm pretty sure we released it. It's filmed at any rate. So there you go. A tidbit on the design of the Discovery. The saucer personally reminds me of the Trade Federation ship from Star Wars, which are a villain faction and have a negative connotation in my mind. I can see that, but I think that applies probably more to the Vengeance with the cutout section in the center, reminding me more of that ship style. But I can see what you mean. So, yeah. Other than that, I've seen some rumors floating around from people claiming to be working on the show. Basically, they claim that the Discovery is exactly what it looks like, a Klingon Federation hybrid. Well, I've had the opportunity to speak with the designer. He's messaged me a few times out of the blue to show me updates on the Discovery, myself and Samuel, and I can safely say that the Discovery's changed quite a bit since you guys have seen it. That's all I can say on the matter. I can't say who or what or why until I have more of a clearance as to what I can say. But I just need to say that you guys need to be patient. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything at this point. Next goes on to Roderick Cameron. What's wrong with believing in God? You guys act as if we have the plague or something. I never once said anything about anything being wrong with believing in God. I believe in God. I was raised Lutheran. I just don't go to church, like, ever anymore, because I was forced to do it as a kid. I just don't care. My wife Sylvia, she was raised Roman Catholic, doesn't go to church. We believe in God. I have this great relationship with God. You see, I know that He exists, and He knows that I know that He exists. So we're good. We talk, occasionally like, hey, how's it going? I need some help with this, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have to go to a building every week to worship Him. So I have no problem with you believing in God. I believe in God. I believe in a higher power. Whether His name is God or not is another thing, but I have no problem with God or religion or anything. You can believe whatever you want to believe. Just that the Bajoran thing in Trekyards gets a little much. In Trekyards, in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, gets a little much. I just can't stand the heavy religious overtones or undertones or any episode that really focuses on. I just hate. I don't care. I just shut up about your religion. I don't care. You can believe in whatever you want. There's a great saying on the internet. It's actually a meme, and it says, religion is like a penis. It's great to have one, but don't go waving it around in public and trying to shove it down everyone's throat. That's my review on religion. Believe what you want to believe, do what you want to do, just don't try to force it on me or whatever. I believe in what I believe, and that's what I believe. So hopefully that helps. And then Mr. Pingen responded to that and said, I think it was just a case of being tedious as a story plot, which it was a bit for me to get through. Though the show did well with showing that it's people that mainly warp or misuse a religion, especially when they don't let a religion evolve and learn with the times. And then Roderick Cameron replied back, I'm trying not to be so sensitive about the subject. Well, don't be, please, because there's no offense intended. Everything about the Bajorans, I just absolutely despise. I just crush them. I think I might have a Cardassian soul. Anyway, moving right along. Ballroom Scott. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that misses episodic Star Trek. Well, you're absolutely not. Commander Cockings replied to it saying, I do too, would be nice. There will be episodic elements in each episode, little minor things, but it's not going to be a wrapped up, every episode is boom, self-contained with the odd plot line going through a few of them. It's going to be very story archy, which is what I like. And then Fritz Shaks says, yeah, same. I want normal Trek with normal ships, so I'm waiting for new Renegade Pacific 201 and Axanar and other stuff. I'm very disappointed by Discovery design and time period. I wanted the 25th to 26th century Trek, not another prequel, but I will still watch the Discovery show, though. It's Trek. Good, I'm glad you're going to watch it, at least. I'm sure it'll be great. I didn't really want another prequel either, but here we are. We have what we have. And who knows, maybe the prequel, maybe this 10 years before TOS is only the first season. Maybe each season is a new era, continuing a storyline that arcs through all these different eras. Who knows, guys? Stay positive. Enterprise H says, not at all. I actually think that the self-contained story is what makes each episode of Star Trek so memorable. There's always an A and B plot. The A plot can be the ongoing story arc. The B plot, the subplot, can be wrapped up in each episode. You can have a B and C plot. Clashy the Trekker, ST, SW, SG, DW, and more, says, hi Captain, thanks for the explanation. I know this isn't a cheap request, but have you ever thought about getting a green screen, both for you and Samuel, so you guys can have ships flying past behind you? And it goes on, he talks with Commander Cockings about it. The fact of the matter is, yes, we would like to have green screen at some points, but it's very hard for Samuel to do all that, and it would just make the episodes so much more complicated, and we want to do green screen work at some time. I'm not going to read all the comments back and forth about this, but the answer is yes, we've thought of the green screen. Yes, we will be doing some green screen work next time Samuel and I meet up in person. We're going to set some time aside to do some in-universe green screen, in costume, in character kind of things. Captain Foley meeting Commander Cockings, that kind of thing. But as for a regular episode, maybe for the odd one in the future, maybe, who knows? But as of right now, no, I don't think so. Rochat. The Discovery design element points to post-TOS. The temporal idea you have sounds like it could be, but the ship definitely originates from a post-TOS timeline. Possibly. 90 Lancaster replied to that saying, the showrunner keeps saying things to suggest it's later than some people think it is, but the design is no 24th century design, that is for sure. Stylistically, the Disco looks like it's, I refuse to call it a ship after Enterprise and pre-TOS, and then got a new deflector at some time later. As everything else seems to scream old, the color, the impulse engines, the hull detail even yells midpoint between TOS, Enterprise and TOS to me. Like I said, changes have been made. It's not the same ship you guys saw when we first saw it. If it was like the second study model, then I'd say, ooh, it's a motion picture era, but it doesn't seem to fit anywhere in at the moment other than looking old, which it is nearly a 40-year-old design. P. Mason, did you build that model in the back? Looks good. Yes, I did. That was my 350 scale TOS Enterprise, my first lit model. Very proud of it. If you haven't seen the last Captain's Log, let's see. There it is, right there. Right there behind me. So I just read the comments off the... You see what I'm saying? That's how I do this. So I'm looking at myself, lots of me going on. So yes, I did build that myself. Thank you very much. Averamnamrk4U4. I don't know. YouTube names. I hate YouTube names. I've said this before. Did you see the MiG-31 BM that I told you about? You will have a lot of fun with it. Pico. No. I have not. Sorry. I'll have to look at it again. Nuck97. Star Trek Quantum Leap. Will Sam Beckett meet Captain Archer? Oh boy. That's all I can say. David Harrison says, I read that the Franklin is 450 feet long, which is a little over 137 meters. That would make the Alt Enterprise about 1,800 feet, or just under 549 meters long, assuming that it was 4 times the length. And And then Nova 1972X says, the problem with Abrams Prize, the JJ Prize, is the size is all over the place depending on the source. But according to Wikipedia, it is 725 meters long, which is about 2,378 feet, which makes it longer than the Enterprise E. Hard to say if Abrams Enterprise A is even larger, but it may be. Who knows? That's mass shifting, like in Transformers, when huge Megatron turns into a handgun that either Starscream can hold, which would be pretty big still, or a human can hold. Mass shifting. The Enterprise can mass shift, I'm telling you. Fox Piano says, the Discovery doesn't really look futuristic enough to be a time ship. I'm fine with the show being set between Enterprise and TOS. Robert Van Tunen says, I love the time ship idea. Why, thank you. Daniel Bertazon. This was a great video. Thanks, Mr. Foley. F-O-L-L-Y. I'm not Mr. Foley. I'm Mr. Foley. F-O-L-E-Y. Thank you very much. Kyle Timmons. I had blocked out all information on Star Trek Beyond because I lost all confidence in it when the trailer came out. If it wasn't for your positive words about it, I would never have given it a chance. Thank you. About this Versus thing, maybe you guys can figure out a way to face off in the Star Trek game and record it. Whether it be Bridge Commander, Star Trek Armada, with the first two, you could probably pit the ships against and discuss each one or another. We've done experiments with that. We've done a few experimental videos. We want to do a Versus show at some point, or a Commander versus Captain show, where we do that with video games and things. And I think that'd be great. I think that'd get a lot of views. Ship versus ship, especially Bridge Commander. We can compare the ships kind of thing as we're fighting. I think that's great. We've already considered that, and we've done a few tests. Who knows what the future holds? We need... Honestly, we need more Patreon funding to be able to actually do Fleetyards and stuff and get the other shows that we have idea-wise off the ground. But yes, we've considered that. Matt Gibbs didn't do a Star Trek wedding but got married in Vegas too and went to the Star Trek experience after. We got chased by the Borg. Cool. I'm glad you guys got to see the Star Trek experience. I missed it. I never got a chance to get to Vegas and see the Star Trek experience, and I could kick myself in the ass for that. I would have loved it, I'm sure. Anyway. Connor McAlladin. I had a terrible knee-jerk reaction to the USS Discovery. However, now the shock has gone, and I'm beginning to warm up to the uniqueness of the ship. It's kind of refreshing if they could perhaps make the secondary hull a little deeper and have the wings as extended struts. That would be amazing. Like I said, changes have been made to it. It's been refined. It's been changed a little bit. It's not the same ship you saw. The Hillbilly Gamer says, I know how to space, but I'm going to check out. I'm a fan of the Irish. I know how to space, but I'm going to check it out. I'm a fan of the Irish Trekkie. Watch his videos on a regular basis. He's a cool guy. And then Commander Cocky said, we are fans of the Irish Trekkie also. Daniel Bertazon said, that's what I've been trying to say all along. Why not make the Discovery a time ship, warship, and make the Discovery go through time and fight in different wars in different times? The first season will deal with the Klingon War and may eventually feature the war at Axanar. That'd be great. I think that'd be cool. That's a great concept for a Star Trek show. David Harrison, one final comment before I stop assaulting your inbox. Sounds dirty. I should call the police. I like the subtly illuminated nacelle grills on your original Enterprise model. That is just one little detail that makes this design sit neatly into the continuity of all other Earth and Federation vessels in a way that it doesn't so well with the fully enclosed nacelles. It's definitely a creative embellishment. I would say they should have included in the remastered TOS, like changing the registry on the USS Constellation to NCC 1710, which in my opinion should have been done for the original episode. So as to avoid the whole inconsistency issue with it having a number almost 700 lower than the class leader USS Constitution NX 1701. Well, thank you for the compliment on the blue nacelle grill glow. Something Gene Roddenberry always wanted. They didn't have the technology at the time or the resources, the money at the time to do it, so it should have always been there in my opinion. I think it fits perfectly like you said, and yes, the remastered should have had it. As for the registry issue, Samuel and I have talked on a podcast about the registry and how it's not necessarily, you can to honor another ship, you can use an older registry on a newer ship. Sorry about that, the video cut off there, but I was just saying that older registries you can apply to newer ships that might not necessarily follow the line of the registry numbers. We've talked about this ad nauseum, Samuel and myself. We want to do an episode on registry numbers at some point, I think, just to kind of explain the different theories and stuff on them. They can all be retconned, they can all be explained, but I agree with you, it should have been 1710 for the registry number, but it is what it is. You know, there's you can make up explanations as needed for your own headcanon, and there's different explanations for all that. So take that for what it's worth, I guess. But yeah, registry thing, it doesn't necessarily, I hate the arguments like, oh, this registry is this, so it means that this is built before this ship, and da 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 da. Not necessarily. There's always exceptions to the rule, and reasons like experimental models and honoring another ship, things like that, that it can change the registry number and mess with the registry guidelines, as it were. So yeah, take it for what it is. Anyway, on to the next one. Battleship 321. Hey, Captain Foley, love the videos, and I'd like to ask you, thank you. I'd like to ask you what the name of your fleet is in Star Trek Online. Team Trekyards. Very simple. Team Trekyards. And I also have a theory on how the drastic change from the TOS to the current JJ verse. What if the drastic change came from the Earth-Romulan War during the Enterprise era? P.S. Keep on trekking. That's a distinct possibility. The Romulans could have come back and done something. To be honest, the temporal dude at the beginning, in the very first episode of Star Trek Enterprise, looks almost Romulan or Vulcan. It looks like he has pointed ears. Kind of see him. I'm watching Enterprise again because I don't remember if they actually show who he is at some point. I don't think they do. They don't really explain it too well. So maybe that's the case. But I like to think that it happened pre-NX-01 because in my timeline, the NX-01 never existed. Even Picard said there were 5 ships to bear the name Enterprise. NX-01 would make it 6. Why it wasn't included, that's also been retconned and explained, and, you know, experimental and blah 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 blah. I don't know. There's reasons for everything. You can explain everything away, but in my reality, the Kelvin timeline or the JJ universe happens pre-NX-01, and the NX-01 period leads into the JJ verse. That's their history, not the prime history that we knew and grew up with in the 80s. That's just me, though. Empyrean Frost says, sorry for the late comment. Question, what is your favorite big ship, like planetary evacuation ship, shuttle transport, through-deck carrier? Also, will you be continuing work? I will be continuing my work on Microsoft starships and will be posting them more regularly on Trekyards. Currently working on a Discovery Lake ship. Reasons for my tardiness? My Klingon wife. Yikes. Well, hopefully you don't have too many bruises or broken bones or bites. Or maybe hopefully you do, depending on how you look at that. But no, my favorite big ship, from Invasion, the Typhoon class carrier, which is an amazing looking ship, a huge ship. It's a fighter carrier, and it's a great design. I think it's awesome. We need to do a Trekyards episode on that soon. The Hillbilly Gamer is the next one. I like the idea of how the Kelvin timeline is a separate universe, but I think they should have said that it was, from the beginning, it was a separate universe like the Terran Empire, but artificial. But I don't think I would have been allowed to happen by the 29th century guys. Starfleet 29th century, the 29th century, they can scan Time Lords and can scan space, and I wouldn't never have been allowed to happen. They have 29th century temple starships with temporal shields, temporal starships, and cannot withstand any change in the timeline and exist independently outside of space-time. Commander Cockings agrees with that. I do too. I think it is an alternate universe, dimension, timeline. It should have been stated. It's not just an alternate... It's not just an alternate timeline. It should be an alternate universe, ultimate dimension, alternate reality, whatever. Because the 29th century time guys would have isolated the incident and corrected the mistake. So I agree with that. Matthew Hammond, Captain, I just finished your Part 2 Beyond podcast, and I think you and the Commander both missed a deeper story of Balthazar Edison. Edison was a man who fought in the Zindi War, came home, and as he tried to adjust to normal life again, gets called back into military service to fight the Romulan War. This is a man struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. Instead of getting the help he needs, he's shoved into his desk job, or captain of a non-military starship. He's lost, trying to deal with the horror she's seen. Metaphoric as Kirk is dealing with, and literally as the Franklin is lost in space and crashes on Ultimate. Is Ultimate the name of the planet? Because I don't remember that. Edison feels abandoned. His every call for help gets ignored. Every step he takes to try to survive literally changes him. We see this revealed as the layers are peeled away as he consumes the life force of humans. Did either of you hear about the Department of Veterans Affairs suicide hotline going to a voicemail in 2015? No. Edison is an antagonist because he was. I gotta show you something here, guys. I don't know why it does this, but on my iPad, if you look, was ... It's not the regular ... button that I can expand to see more of the comment. The iPad just cuts off long comments, so I don't know what the rest of it was, but so I apologize for that. Yeah, it makes sense. Like I said, I only seen the movie once at that point. I have not yet seen it again in theaters, or at all, really. Just reading reviews and whatnot online, but I've only seen it once. Samuel has since seen it twice, so he might have a better understanding of the plot and the character modifications. Character, whatever. You know what I mean. Anyway, so I need to see it again. I want to see it in theater. I don't know if I'll get a chance to, unfortunately, but once the Blu-ray is out, I'll be doing a review of it, and I'll be able to talk a little bit more on that subject. So thank you very much for sharing that. Ellie Ardent. Again, his gets cut off too with the ... See? Right at the very end, ... So, Ellie, hey all, first time chiming in for a captain's log for me. Don't structure it like an actual letter where there's spaces between paragraphs and stuff, because you're going to get that cut off if it's too long. Try to keep it short and sweet for these, if possible, Ellie, just so you know for the future. Because I can't read them all. I can look them up on my computer, but I don't want to go ahead and do that, so... First off, thank you to you and Samuel for rekindling my interest in all things Star Trek. I was a huge fan back in high school, but things tapered off during the long, drawn-out years of TNG and Deep Space Nine, and all but died out with Voyager to the point where Enterprise barely registered on my radar. While I'd gone back to reacquainting myself with the various Treks, your show has really got my interest back ablaze. Well, that's awesome. We'd love to hear that kind of stuff. My background with Star Trek was heavily influenced by tabletop gaming side of things with Starfleet Battles, and even more with FASA's RPG and tactical game. I'm a big miniatures enthusiast and love seeing you pull them off the shelf from time to time. I know you have talked about Starfleet Battles a lot and touched on the FASA games a bit, but I would love to see a show where you spotlight the various Trek miniature games out there, then and now, with specific focus on the miniatures themselves. Again, thanks for bringing back the fan... So I don't know what you said at the end there, but I think to do a show on the different tabletop games would be something that we could do. We could do a podcast on that. Maybe have a guest on, somebody that's worked on FASA and Starfleet Battles, such as Josh Spencer, one of our guest stars that we have had. He curated the Interstellar Concordium for Starfleet Battles. So we need to get him on the show again to talk about that kind of stuff, designing some of the ships he designed, because he designed more than just ISC ships. I think that'd be great to do a podcast on tabletop gaming and stuff. That might be really fun. Thank you for the suggestion. Daniel Bertizon, the Nero Kelvin timeline. Makes more sense than just the Kelvin timeline, but it's still the JJ verse. Dean Lewis, I know I would ban from my computer and perhaps my home, but the more I watch the Discovery trailer, the more it grows on me. This is not an ugly ship, but it's different. I think it will become a great hero ship and join the Connie and D in due time. I totally agree. I loved it from the first second I saw it. I thought it was great. And like I said, it's refined quite a bit now. It's not the same ship that we have seen. So yeah, I think it'll fit right in with all the hero ships, absolutely. Electric Theo Studios says, would you say that the new Sean Prize, Enterprise A, is closer in size to the original, around 300 meters, or is it still gigantic? No idea. Might have mass shifting. Who knows? I think it's closer to the original size, though. Hopefully they fix that. But yeah, I hope it's not gigantic. I think it'll be whatever size it needs to be based on the plot, knowing the JJ history. David Harrison says, I think the Scientia part of the Starfleet Academy motto, which seems to be what the person's stream name is pronounced Scientia. 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 Yeah. Scientia. There you go. Gordazak Navasak. What about the sound of at the end of Discovery? Cloaking device? Could be. Could also be a temporal kind of thing. Jesus. Also, I was wondering if you've seen the Nerd Escape podcast with Irish Trekkie and the Trek Collector interviewing John Eves. In the interview, John mentions that during pre-production of Star Trek 2009, that CBS and Paramount still weren't sure where they stood in regards to who owned which aspects of the franchise, resulting in a lot of things that the writers, producers, and J.J. Abrams wanted to incorporate to make the film feel more like Star Trek and were familiar with getting nixed. I believe the quote from John was, "JJ got 90% no's from the studio." This led me to think that there could be a reason the earlier, more aesthetically familiar takes on the Enterprise shots were shot down by the higher ups as opposed to Abrams himself. Thoughts? Possibly, but I think Abrams is he's said it himself. He was never a Star Trek fan. He doesn't give a shit about the franchise as far as I'm concerned. I think Star Trek was just his resume for working on Star Wars, which he's accomplished. But yeah, that could be. It could be a lot of political bullshit, but it's usually the director that has final say on things. And from what I've heard, the original Ryan Church Enterprise that had the correct color scheme, had a few things slightly different, was nixed by JJ last minute, and especially the color scheme, he wanted to change it to the blues. So I've heard a lot of things about Abrams, that he doesn't want his Star Trek being confused with real Star Trek. He actually tried to have original Star Trek stuff pulled off the shelves product-wise, so that it wouldn't get confused with his stuff and whatever. And CBS basically said, no, we're not doing that. Star Trek's a great revenue stream for us, especially product-wise. So I've heard that, and if that's the case, screw Abrams. If it's not the case, I apologize to Abrams profusely, but those are rumors I've heard. He doesn't want his Trek to be mistaken for other Trek. I don't want to say real Trek because people are going to yell at me. So, John Hawkins, really like your Enterprise, great job. Thank you very much. Brendan Haslip, female captain in the new series. It is. Not necessarily. The main character is a female, but she's, I believe, a lieutenant or lieutenant commander. She's not a captain. So they might not focus specifically on the captain. And each season might focus on different characters, if not different timelines. So who knows? Joseph Bryant, what many people seem to be missing when they talk about the Star Trek Discovery is that Ralph McQuarrie's design is a canon ship. It appeared in Space Dock at the beginning of Star Trek 3, and it was in the junkyard that the 1701D visited in one episode of TNG. This says to me that the series takes place between Star Trek 3 and TNG, but that's just speculation. And we know now that that's not true. It happens 10 years before TOS. But yes, it is very true that is a canon ship. We mentioned that in our Ralph McQuarrie mission briefing. On the Ralph McQuarrie design. It was seen in the Space Dock in Star Trek 3 and in a junkyard in one episode of TNG. So yes, you are correct. There's a few back and forth there with the commander comment-wise, but I'm going to skip those. Leon Woodley, 99. Good lord. Sound quality, man. What can you do? The motors on that model are loud, and I'm not hooking up my professional mic and all this to do my captain's logs because they're supposed to be, you know, I do them on the fly sometimes, so I use my phone. That's just the way it is. Sorry, man. Captain April, the Enterprise D was the 5th Federation ship to bear the name Enterprise. If we're going to slip in the NX-01, then why not a ring ship, the space shuttle, the 2 aircraft carriers, etc., etc.? Got to draw the line somewhere. True, and that's maybe why it wasn't counted, because it was an NX, but still, in my opinion, in my canon, the NX-01 never existed. Most of the events of Enterprise screwed up the official, well, not official, timeline in history that had been established through FASA and the Starfleet battles and all the stuff in the 80s when we were kind of lacking Trek between movies and stuff. Black Widow says, I have the same puzzle on my wall. Samers. Reaper of Wayward Souls says, I think that comment about First Contact changing the timeline makes total sense. Because Zephyr Cochrane would have been greatly affected, and his contributions for the future would have been what drove the major differences down the line. Only thing that doesn't fit in is the theory as much as the final episode of Enterprise is supposed to be taking place during a TNG episode, which was before First Contact, unless this was a timeline ripple. Maybe if Enterprise lasted a couple more seasons, we could have found out the Temporal Cold War was actually started by the First Contact breach of the timeline. That would have been an awesome twist. Exactly, I think they should have gone with something like that. I've said that all along, so thank you very much. Murray Britton, I had to close the video. The motor in the background was too much to listen to for more than 2 minutes. Sorry. I apologize as well. Hopefully this one will be better for you. Analysis of sci-fi. U.S. Discovery does look cool. My theory, it's a glorified kit bash made from pieces of different starships Frankenstein together. Of course, I've been known to be wrong. 100% comes to new hero ships for TV shows. Congratulations on working with other YouTubers. Thank you. Zeldrak. I'm really annoyed by the people whining over the Discovery design. I've literally read people calling for STD boycotts just because of the teaser. Yes, the Discovery looks different from all previous hero ships, but that is great. The guys at CBS seem to be willing to take risks and dare something new or different. After all, this is what Trek is about. Discovering new things, not reusing the same basic stuff again and again and again. 100% agree with you. William May, cool. Thank you. The CG Jeff. I love the new Enterprise design, but only from the top. Well, it's not an Enterprise. It's a Discovery. The engineering section looks ugly. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on the warp pylons. Are those pylons really practically needed? If they were, I think it could look past it. If not, then why did they go with that design? It's changed since then. That's all I have to say. James Oldfield. Sorry, I'm running kind of quick because my iPad's running out of power. I'm running out of space on my phone. La-da-da-da-da. James Oldfield, great captain's log. As Chekhov sadly won't be around for Kelvin Timeline 4, who would you like to see fill in the navigation defense chair? Emrys, Eric's, Carol Marcus, Aliyah, Walking Bear, Kevin Riley, or someone new? Any of the above, preferably Eric's or Carol Marcus would be great. I don't think she should be on the bridge, but Eric's would be cool. I'd love to see a CG character now. Musa, 1967. Love the TOS Enterprise model in the background. Thank you. Rick Meyer. Is it more appropriate to call the Kelvin timeline the Kelvinverse, since to retain causality, Spock and Nero had to travel from the Prime universe to a very close in nature parallel universe and start to influence that one? Otherwise, the Prime universe then resulted in Prime Spock and Nero traveling back in time is wiped out, and we lack the means to start the JJ-verse. Yes, that makes perfect sense, actually. Jasus, I've heard lots of folks saying, why doesn't CBS just buy Axanar? And that opens up an insanely huge can of worms. Buying Axanar indicates CBS giving it legitimacy and implies that they do not actually watch, they do actually watch fan productions. From that point forward, if any element of an official Star Trek production seems even mildly similar to something in a fan production, CBS opens themselves up to be sued, since they've set the precedent that they are closely monitoring fan-made content. Yes, absolutely. I just don't want to get into the whole Axanar thing right now because it's going to be playing out in January. We'll see what happens. So, the Hillbilly Gamer again. Federation time ship stolen. Only never seen was in Voyager, and a burned out hull of a wreck on one Enterprise, but was a wreck. I'm not sure if I'm Federation, but the Federation time ship they had employed. You're for the starship, and then a little fighter version. The Federation time it was from the 29th century, and that's another thing to do a lot of hardcore Star Trek fans have a problem to JJ-verse about, because we know that they can scan time 24th century, like, okay, so just more of the time scanning. Yep. Sorry, I gotta move on. Kharkov. You know, seeing your amazing Connie model makes me really want to start my own Polar Lights Botany Bay and Connie model. I really need to find time. Also, did you ever get Star Trek the magazine when it was in print? It was licensed by Paramount, and every issue was filled with amazing information. I have about 5 issues, and they cover so many things. Ship diagrams, text, stories, characters. It's simply amazing. I'd love to show you these somehow if you haven't seen them before. Are you driving to Trekconderoga this time, or taking the train again? We drove to Trekconderoga. Yes, I've got Star Trek the magazine. This is actually one I'm using for research for an upcoming episode. I've got a box full of them. I have almost all of them. I'm only missing like 2 or 3. And here is my Polar Lights, Enterprise, and Botany Bay model. Just to give you more inspiration to finish yours. Hope you like it. The Trek Collector. Hello, Chris. Thanks for the shout out, Captain. Really enjoyed your log, and you're right. You need to show off that 350 scale Enterprise more. Hoping I will be building one soon if they reuse the lighting kit in Europe. Loving all this Trekyards, and please keep up the great work. Thank you, Mr. Trek Collector. You do the same. All right, 4 more comments, and then we're done. Nova 1972X. Great Captain's log as usual. Captain Foley, considering that it seems to be established that the JJ Prize is an alternate timeline Constitution class ship, what does that make the Enterprise JJ Prize A? It doesn't seem like it is the same class unless it is a variant. Would this make JJ Enterprise A an Enterprise class? Sort of a nod to FASA? That would be great. I think that'd be fantastic. Who knows, though? I don't even know if the original Enterprise from JJ versus the original JJ Prize is a Constitution class. It's never been really called that. Wouldn't make sense really to call it that. Who knows? I don't know. 90 Lancaster says Enterprise had both the Mirror Universe and the Borg. Besides, all bets are off since First Contact anyways. The Prime Timeline is essentially rewriting its own past. Yep. Captain Lokioa. Want to say something about the Star Trek Discovery ship, but I'm done talking about it and reading about it, so it gets me so frustrated that I get headaches because I'm bottling my emotions. Facepalm to Skyla's first comment. Okay. How about Kelvin Narada timeline? To be honest, I do like the theory of when the E made their incursion to save Zephram's launch, that the deviation of the Prime timeline, which made the NX and the first ship named Enterprise to be the first ship named Enterprise. Yes, I agree with that 1,000%. I'll give you that because I'm often wondered about that when I saw First Contact. The Enterprise series, especially when it came to the recovered Borg episode in Enterprise. Also, to be honest, I loved that episode of Enterprise. Whenever I'd rewatch the show, I can't wait for that episode. I don't like skipping too much episodes of the show. Yeah, I've started rewatching Enterprise. I'm up to episode 5 on season 1. And the last comment, Nova 1972X. Kenny Baker, R2-D2 passed away. Sad news. It is very sad news. We were in Trekconderoga, or Trekconderoga, New York, when that happened. So I just want to pay my respects to Kenny Baker. I love R2-D2, and it was very sad to hear that. Yes, I love you. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for this Captain's Log. I'm going to get to writing some scripts. I got some stuff to do today and whatnot. R2, let's put you back. So, thank you guys for tuning in, as always. Sorry it was so fast and blah, 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 screaming through, but I had to get things done before I ran out of memory and battery power and stuff. So, anyway, guys, this is Captain Foley signing off until next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and ask me questions and stuff for next time. And I will see you all very soon. Captain Foley signing off. Bye-bye.